Well, now for the news in detail. Today is Mathin Full Moon Poya Day. In the annals of the history of Buddhism, many important events relating to the life of the Gautama Buddha took place on Mathin Full Moon Poya Day. The significance of the day is that it commemorates the visit of the Buddha to his home to preach to his father, King Suddhodana, and other relatives. Determined to find the way out of universal suffering, Prince Siddhartha decided to leave his palace in search of truth at the height of his youth. It was not out of selfish motives that he took that decision. Prince Rahula and Nanda too were ordained during this visit. Accepting the king's request as not to ordain small children without the consent of their parents, the Buddha enacted a rule regarding this. Mathin Full Moon Poya Day also marks the peak of the Shripada season. The Poya Dhamma sermon, organized with the participation of the President, was held at the President's house in Anuradhapura. The Dhamma sermon was delivered by Chief Incumbent of the Ruwanvali Saya Vihara, the Venerable Pallegama Hema Ratanathera. ITN's Poya program is being telecast from this morning. Many religious observances, including SIL and meditation campaigns, are being organized countrywide to mark this religious day. The chanting of Pirit that was conducted for 12 months to invoke blessings on the nation came to an end today. The Pirit chanting began at the Ruwanvali Saya premises on the Duruthu Poya Day in 2009. The chanting was conducted for 415 days continuously. It is the longest Pirit chanting ceremony to have been held in the history of Sri Lanka. The program was organized to invoke blessings on the President and the war heroes, and for the success of the humanitarian operation. It was organized by Minister S.M. Chandrasena on the guidance of the Chief Incumbent of the Ruwanvali Saya Temple, the Venerable Pallegama Hema Ratanathera. The Veerasinghe Foundation in Japan extended assistance. President Rajapaksa visited the location several times and listened to the Pirit chanting. An almsgiving for 3,000 monks was held this morning under the patronage of the President. First Lady Shuranthi Rajapaksa, ministers and government officials were among a large number of people who participated. The UPFA victory in the general election is certain. The President made this observation at a function held in Anuradhapura.
අපි කොහොමත් කිසි වෙලාවකවත් මේ ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී මාවතින් පිටට ගියේ නැහැ.
Addressing a ceremony in Anuradhapura organized for the Freedom Alliance candidates to give a solemn pledge to work in unity on behalf of the motherland, the President opined that they placed their trust in democracy and not on other directions. He recalled how elections were postponed in the past and referendums held to extend the term of the parliament. He proudly stated that they did not postpone elections at any time. Even the presidential poll was held 2 years in advance. They received a massive strength from the people. More started rallying around the Freedom Alliance. He said as to what the masses demanded from them. The voice of the masses should be heard and should be understood by the people's representatives. He added that the aim should be to strengthen and unite the people.
අපි ජනාධිපතිවරයාට දුටුවා. මෙහෙම අපිට බලය දීලා උන්වහන්සේලා දන්නා අපිට විශාල බලයක් ජනාධිපතිවරයාට අපිට දුන්නේ. ඒ වගේම පළාත් සභාවලදී දුන්නේ. අපි ශක්තිමත් කරලා ජනතාව අපෙන් ඉල්ලන්නේ මොකද්ද? මම විශ්වාස කරන්නේ අපිට කියනවා කාගේවත් අතකොළු නොවන ආණ්ඩුවක් හදන්න කියලා.
The candidates gave this pledge at the President's house in Anuradhapura.
They pledged to work in unity, setting aside communal, caste, religious and all other differences to safeguard the motherland that has been united after routing terrorism and also maintain unity and amity among all communities. Thereafter, the Freedom Alliance candidates engaged in multi-religious observances to secure blessings. The candidates visited the Jayashree Mahabodhi in Anuradhapura and secured blessings. They participated in the religious ceremonies under the patronage of President Rajapaksa. This is the first general election to be held since peaceful environment created with the routing of terrorism. The securing of multi-religious blessings before embarking on the election campaign is an example to all political parties. Candidates contesting from the Freedom Alliance from all districts joined in receiving the blessings from the Jayashree Mahabodhi. A Hindu religious program was organized at the Sri Kadiresan Kovil in Anuradhapura. Several candidates participated in this ceremony. Christian candidates of the Freedom Alliance were engaged in religious observances at St. Joseph's Cathedral in Anuradhapura. They received the blessings of the Catholic clergy to engage in the election campaign successfully. Islamic religious observances were organized at the Muhyiddin Juma Mosque to bless the candidates of the alliance.
You're watching Prime News, and still on the local segment, a Sri Lankan temple will be built in Myanmar for the first time, strengthening the historic ties between Sri Lanka and Burma, now known as Myanmar. The agreement between Sri Lanka and one of the major Buddhist countries that practices the Theravada Buddhism was signed yesterday. The function was held at the main hall of the Shwedagon Temple in Myanmar. Director of Foreign Affairs of the Sri Dalada Maligawa, Gamini Bandara, and the President of the Board of Trustees of the Shwedagon Pagoda signed the agreement on behalf of the respective countries. Sri Lanka also practices the Theravada sect of Buddhism. The Sri Lankan ambassador in Myanmar, Newton Gunaratne, said that the absence of a Sri Lankan temple in Myanmar has created a void, although long-term religious ties have existed between the two countries. The bond between the two countries has been strengthened as never before due to the visit made by the President to Myanmar last year. Mr. Gunaratne said that this has paved the way to construct the Sri Lankan temple. The relatives of the war heroes who laid down their lives for the country were felicitated. Speaking at the function, the Defence Secretary said that victory was possible due to the war heroes who sacrificed their lives from the day in 1980 when the first soldier was killed in the north. He said that all war heroes have rendered a certain service for the victory. He said that those who fought and sacrificed their lives during the last 4 years could achieve this victory due to all those who served in the security forces and the police during the last 30 years. The function was held under the patronage of the Defence Secretary at the Singha Regiment headquarters at Ambepussa. Parents, wives, children and relatives of the war heroes belonging to the Kaigala district, totaling 2,049, participated in the ceremony. President of the Ranavuru Seva Authority, Padmakumari Vathava, and high-ranking officers of the security forces were present. Sri Lanka's High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, Justice Nihal Jayasinghe, has said it is unfortunate that a friendly country such as Britain was supporting the Global Tamil Forum.
He described that the forum clearly manifests its ambition to continue the separatist agenda of the LTTE, which Sri Lanka believes is against her sovereignty and integrity. The High Commissioner made these observations during a meeting with Andrew Patrick, Additional Director for South Asia. The meeting was held on the address made by British Foreign Secretary David Miliband at the Global Tamil Forum. The Sri Lankan High Commissioner was deeply disturbed by Mr. Miliband's decision to attend the Global Tamil Forum. In response, Mr. Andrew Patrick said it appeared that there was a misunderstanding with regard to the Foreign Secretary's participation in the forum. He said it was only to encourage the Tamil voice to follow the democratic path to reconcile them with other communities in Sri Lanka. Mr. Patrick referred to the speech of Miliband, where he criticized the LTTE for countless atrocities and conscription of children.
The Nagadeepa temple premises were reported to have been packed with devotees. The Buddha is said to have visited Nagadeepa to settle dispute between Cholodara and Mahodara, two kings of the Naga clan who were at war with each other over a gem-studded throne. Peace in this country was shattered once again after thousands of years due to LTTE terrorism. The devotees were unable to visit this location, which was sanctified by the Buddha. Peace has been ushered into the area once again under the guidance of President Rajapaksa, when the humanitarian operation came to an end after 3 decades. Sri Lankan Navy has made arrangements to accommodate 5,000 Sri Lankan and Indian